Hi and welcome back to Cooking by Zoe. This tutorial is on how to make jelly-like shrinks for sweet coconut dessert. I call these jelly shrinks, but they are actually called by other names, which I have listed here in this video. This is actually not my first tutorial on how to make these jelly-like shrinks. This is my third video, but each video has a different recipe. And for this recipe, I'll be using rice flour, tapioca starch, and mung bean starch. Everyone has their own preference on texture, so try out each recipe and see which one you like best. The best recipe that I actually like is my initial tutorial that I posted using mung bean starch, coconut milk, and water. For this recipe, the texture of the jelly-like shrinks will resume the same even if it's been placed in the refrigerator. Here I'm showing all of the ingredients that I use in order to make this sweet coconut dessert as shown at the beginning of the video when I mix everything together. I do want to let you know that in this tutorial I will not be going over on how to make the sugar syrup or how to cook the tapioca pearls, but if you'd like to learn how to make this, I will link down my other tutorial and you can check that out. You can use coconut milk or coconut cream, and then for the coconut gel, that's completely optional as well. And then you would just adjust the sugar and the coconut milk to your taste. These are the three types of dry ingredients that I'll be using: rice flour, tapioca starch, and mung bean starch, along with room temperature or cold sink water. Alright, so let's get started. We want to start by mixing all of our ingredients together. So in a large or medium pot that's easy to mix and stir, we're going to add in half a cup of rice flour, 1/4 cup of tapioca starch, 1/4 cup of mung bean starch, 3 1/4 cup of room temperature or cold sink water, and add food coloring of choice. I like using this old rice cooker pot because I like using the whisk when I'm mixing my ingredients and while I'm cooking, and so I don't want to use some of my new pots that are non-stick. I don't want to scrape them, so using this old rice cooker pot is really easy to use, and it is non-stick, so once everything's been cooked, it's really easy to clean. So I do recommend using a non-stick pot, but if you don't have one or prefer not to, you can still just use a regular pot as well. Mix your ingredients really well to make sure everything is dissolved together and there's no clumps. This is the type of food coloring that I'll be using. It's Thai brand and it is powder. I'm using this fuchsia color, a purple, and then a yellow. Once you have mixed all of your ingredients and food coloring together, you're going to place this on the stove and you're going to cook it on high for 2 minutes. Make sure to stir constantly so that everything is mixed together very well. And then after 2 minutes, you're going to turn the heat down to medium and you're going to slow cook this to make sure everything cooks thoroughly. You want to make sure to continue stirring, otherwise you may have some clumps that are not cooked all the way. This recipe makes a batch that's about 5 to 6 cups, and it is a smaller batch, so you're going to be cooking this a lot quicker than my other recipes. This will take about 6 to 8 minutes to cook thoroughly, but of course the time may vary depending on what your medium level of heat is. Continue stirring and mixing your ingredients. We're getting pretty close to the right consistency. If you watch closely, you'll notice a bubble just popped from the bottom of the pot through the mixture. So once you start to see these bubble popping, you want to cook your mixture for another minute and then turn off the heat and your mixture should be ready. If it looks like it may not be ready, then you can cook it just another minute or so longer. Your mixture is ready when it starts to have this shine. It should be sticky, gooey, and slimy. for the next step, you'll want to get a large pot of water. You can add ice to it if you want, and then you'll need to grab this type of presser that I'm using. If you don't have this equipment, you can also use a steamer with holes and a cup to push the mixture down, or you can use a potato ricer. That would also work. You'll want to pour your mixture into this presser, and then you're going to press the presser. That way the mixture gets pushed through the holes into the cold water, and as they land into the water, they do keep their shape. And I usually aim for 1 to 1.5 inch length for these strings. You want to avoid pressing hard or long because you'll get noodle-like strings. After you have pressed all the mixture down, you'll want to pour out this water that the strings have been pushed into, because it will become warm or hot, and you'll want to replace that with new cold water. An easy quick hack to cleaning your presser is soaking it into cold water. All of the ingredients will come off really easily. If you're going to be making another color or another batch, you would just repeat the same process and just add a different food coloring. Here is the yellow color that I'm making. I skipped showing you guys the beginning part since that's already shown earlier with the pink. Just showing you guys how my yellow one looks like. Here is the outcome of the yellow ones. They are pretty gorgeous. They keep their shape. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and you'll give this recipe a try. If you do, let me know how it turns out and if you like it. Thank you. Bye.